Nebraska's two biggest recruiting targets just went on official visits to Texas and Alabama. So in today's video, I'm going to give you an update about what happened over the weekend, and do I like Nebraska's odds now to land 5-star Michael Terry and 4-star Dawson Merritt. So really quick, before we dive into this recruiting update, make sure to smash that like button if you're getting fired up about the Nebraska football season. I know I am. And hey, hit that subscribe button as well. It really helps me out. We're on the road to 4K. Help me hit it by the fall. But without further ado, let's jump right into it, talking about Nebraska recruiting and what's been going on. And yeah, the two biggest Nebraska recruiting targets went on OVs over the weekend to Tuscaloosa and Austin, Texas. And let's start it off with Michael Terry. What happened there at his visit? This is a guy that honestly was projected to be a Nebraska commit about a week or two ago. He said in an interview with On3 that if you were to commit on the spot, it would actually be to Nebraska. That does not look like it's the case anymore after this Texas visit. So yeah, let's roll over what happened. So he went to Austin on Friday. He was there from Friday to Sunday. And man, oh man, they rolled out the red carpet. The Longhorns actually went viral because they pulled up with Lamborghinis, Ferraris, a bunch of these expensive cars, and they had the recruits take pictures in them, drive them, basically just show them off, hey, this is what you can get if you come to Texas. So that was something that really hasn't been seen before in college football recruiting. But not only that, they made him a custom video that was far better, to be completely real with you, then the custom video that Nebraska made him. They had a bunch of cool pictures that they took with him and their head coach, Steve Sarkisian. So, again, they rolled out the red carpet for Michael Terry. And after all that, he unfortunately received a crystal ball last night to commit to the Longhorns. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like his recruitment took a complete 180. Again, that's something you'd expect with Texas, the way they prepare their official visits. I mean, they're top-notch right now in SEC school. But listen, it's not over. Nebraska, in my opinion, still has a really good shot. There's a couple reasons why. Number one, first off, he still has another official visit. That's to Texas A&M. That's next weekend. I expect a commitment somewhere around maybe early July, maybe even late June. But the reason why it's not over, first off, again, like I said in the intro, is that 2 weeks ago, he said if you were to commit anywhere, it would be to Nebraska, right? Those feelings don't go away immediately. They don't go away because of one good official visit to Texas. Texas actually joined the recruiting process a little late. They just offered him in January. Nebraska offered him a year and a half ago. Okay, Nebraska's got to know this guy for a lot longer than Steve Sarkisian or anybody else has. Now, with that being said, there is a con to that, and that's the fact that Michael Terry's from the area. He grew up around the Texas program, cheering for them, supporting them. So, again, it's tough to really draw him away. But, again, there is a strong connection there with Michael Terry and Matt Rhule and the offensive coaching staff. So, again, that's one reason why I feel like it's not over. Number two, Texas is actually recruiting Michael Terry on defense. They want him to play in the secondary. They want him to basically play, cornerback, maybe even safety on that defense. Michael Terry wants to play offense. He wants to play wide receiver. Nebraska is the only school in his top three that's actually recruiting him to play wide out. You got to keep going on that. You got to keep enforcing him that say, hey, right, if you want to get to the league, you're going to play wide out. That's where you're going to come to Nebraska. You do not want to play on the other side of the football because at the end of the day, that's not where your heart lies. That's not where your playing career lies. You want to come to Nebraska because of that. Number three, it all goes back to that recruiting technique that we're doing on Michael Terry. We sent him an edit the other day with Michael Terry and Dylan Raiola in the same picture, and it says, be legendary, right? You want to be legendary, come to Nebraska, right? Texas, they've won natties, they've been successful, they've had a bunch of 5-stars in the past, even the last couple years when they haven't been good, and it doesn't matter. They're still, not getting back to the level that they were, okay? That's different in Nebraska. You want to be legendary. Nebraska has been bad, but they haven't got 5-stars. They haven't even got 4-stars, right? You want to be different. You want to change the narrative. You want to go to the NFL and be a legend forever, come to Nebraska. So I think recruits are gravitating towards that, but definitely something to watch out there with Michael Terry, man. Not great news. Not great news after the Texas official visit. Again, we got to watch out that A&M official visit next weekend. But right now, according to On3, Michael Terry has over a 90% chance to commit to Texas. So not awesome stuff there, but it doesn't get much better with our next guy, and this is Dawson Merritt. So Dawson Merritt, man, another guy who was a Nebraska lead in my opinion. He was I put him at about 65% chance, even when there was a couple of crystal balls in there for Alabama. I really like Nebraska's odds. He was in Tuscaloosa this weekend, and he was blown away, man. He said, and I quote, it was like a family reunion to go back to Alabama. I think he was there for the third time. And he said in a previous interview that when he's going on these official visits, because he's been to Lincoln and Tuscaloosa multiple times at this point, he said it's all about vibes, it's all about energy. Where can I be myself? Where can I really bond with the other recruits, the coaching staff? And that's what he did at Tuscaloosa. He bonded. He loves Coach DeBoer over there. He loves, again, some of the guys that they've already had to commit. So that's tough. That's tough to beat. Again, the vibe in Tuscaloosa is very high. And I'm not going to talk bad about anything Alabama has going on. Again, they're a good program, but it's the same recruiting pitch that we gave to Michael Terry, right? You want to be different. You want to be a legend. You want to play immediately. You got to come to Nebraska. So, but anyways, because of that, because of his trip to Tuscaloosa over the weekend, he got a crystal ball, unfortunately, to be an Alabama commit. That's up to 3 crystal balls for him right now. And according to On3, he has a 96% chance to commit to Alabama and the Crimson Tide. So again, it's tough, man. It is tough. And that's what happens in college football recruiting, is that you feel really good about these top prospects, and then overnight they go on an official visit and it looks over for you. But once again, it's not over this recruiting process, right? He's going on no more official visits. I expect over this week he's going to ponder, both Nebraska and both Alabama, and then make a decision, maybe late this week, maybe next week. And that'll be public. And of course, we'll have that covered here on the Wilson Sports Channel. But the reason why I think Nebraska still has a really good chance, number one, it's Nebraska's fan base, right? Nebraska's fan base is far and away better than Alabama's, right? Dawson Merritt was here for the spring game. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows his name, right? On social media, he has 6 times the interaction of Nebraska fans than he has Alabama fans, right? To Alabama fans, he's just another guy. He's another 4-star, right? To Nebraska fans, he's a difference maker, right? And it goes back to those connections, even with his dad. His dad, if you didn't know, is the secondary coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. He knows Matt Rhule. He feels confident that Matt Rhule can get his son to the NFL. You got to keep building those connections, not only with Dawson, but with his family. And again, Dawson's a Kansas kid. He's from Kansas. It's a lot easier to go up to those games if you're playing in Lincoln than to fly over to Tuscaloosa every other weekend. So that's number one reason why I think we have a chance still. Number 2 is NIL. Nebraska's NIL has struggled in the past. I'm not going to lie, right? It's been tough the last couple of recruiting classes, but they've stepped in when it matters, right? Ja'Cory Barney was a player that Nebraska almost lost to Miami. If you don't remember last recruiting class, he got a couple crystal balls in last second before he committed to the Hurricanes, and he stuck to his guns and committed to Nebraska. Now, we just found out the reason why he decided to stay with Nebraska is because last second the Cornhuskers came in and they offered him double the NIL money. That's what we got to do with Dawson Merritt here, okay? To land good prospects nowadays, you've got to give them about 6 figures minimum. You got to step up and see what you can do there with Merritt. And last but not least, again, I talked about that fan base in the past. I talked about those relationships in the past. You just got to keep building that. But Dawson Merritt, if he wants to go somewhere where he can play immediately, you're not going to play immediately at Alabama. You're probably going to sit for 2, even 3 years. You're going to play immediately in Nebraska. You're going to play as a true freshman, and you're going to be a difference maker. So, man, not the greatest news over the weekend, folks. And these are the 2 biggest Nebraska targets right now, Michael Terry and Dawson Merritt. Don't like where things are trending, but Nebraska needs these guys, right? These players are the difference between, a top 15, top 10 even class and a top 30 class, right? If you want to be an elite team, ask yourself this as a Nebraska fan. Do you want to be elite? Yes, you want to be elite. Okay, cool. Do you want to win Big Ten titles? Okay, you want to win Big Ten titles. Cool. You've got to land 4-star and 5-star prospects. It's a non-negotiable. It's a non-freaking negotiable. We could sit around and we could beat like Iowa, or we could be, Wisconsin, and get some 4-star prospects here and there and develop at a high level, but never have a awesome recruiting class. And we'll be fine. We'll win 9 games, but we're never going to be an elite program. Do you want to be like them, or do you want to be better? Bingo. You want to be better. So, again, it's important to land these prospects. And again, my recruiting pitch to these guys, I know recruits watch my videos. I know recruiting families, they watch my videos, right? If you want to go somewhere and be legendary, right? If you go to Texas, go to Alabama, you're just another guy, period. You're another guy. And they could sell you that they love you and the fan base loves you, but you are never going to be a legend. They'll forget about you in 10, 15 years. That's just the way it is, okay? And it's hard to hear that. But if you go to Nebraska and you take a program that was historically a great program, has had bad years the last 2 decades, and you take them back, and you start winning games again, you start, getting back to national relevancy, you will always be a legend. We've had players during bad seasons, like Amir Abdullah, who come back to Lincoln and they're legends forever. They didn't win games with us, really. And they're still legends. Now imagine how big you're going to be if you turn around Nebraska forever. So, man, it's just about being a legend. You're still going to go in the NFL with Nebraska. You feel confident about that Coach Rhule development. And it's all about going somewhere that's genuine, that cares about you on and off the field. That's where you're going to link in. So I hope you commit to Nebraska. So, all right, guys, that was the update there with Michael Terry and Dawson Merritt. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Yes, we're in a different place today. I'm on vacation, so recording this in Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, if I have any Charleston viewers, let me know down below. But as always, folks, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And see you in the next one.